Hi guys, so we're going to be doing my March Madness bracket. This is going to be a long video because there's a lot of teams here. So not usually right on all of them. So it's going to be very hard. There's going to be upsets, so I have to choose wisely my upsets alerts here, upset teams. So let's get into it. And it starts today, so let's get this going. So we have Duke. So number 1 Duke versus number 16 Siena. Duke's this year was 32 wins, 21 loss. Siena 23 wins, 11 loss. I don't think Siena wins, so I'm gonna put Duke here for sure. I don't see Duke losing here. Ohio State versus, so we're going to be doing the East first, then the South. Then on this side, we'll do the West and the Midwest. So Ohio State versus TCU. So 8 versus 9. Ohio State was 21-12. TCU they had a season of 22-11 loss. This one, I'm gonna go with TCU. TCU. Then we have San John versus Uni. So San John's number 5 versus number 12. Uni had a record of 23-12. San John 28-6. I'm gonna go with San John. I don't see Uni doing an upset, so we're gonna go with San John here. And I will get some upset, but I don't think Uni is one of them. Then we have number 4 Kansas versus California Baptiste number 13. And this one's going to be more close than we think. California Baptiste had a record of 25-8. Kansas had a record of 23-10. I'm going to go with Kansas, but it's going to be more close than we think. Kansas number 4. Then we have number 6 Louisville versus number 11 South Florida. This one is going to be closer also. South Florida had a record of 25-8. Louisville had a record of 23-10. Here I'm going to go, okay, so St. John's right here, number 5. I'm going to go with my first upset here. I'm going to go with my first upset. A lot of people are not going to be happy with me here. I'm going to go with South Florida. And a lot of people are not going to be happy here. And I don't care. So number 11. South Florida. So then we have Michigan State number 3 versus North Dakota State number 14. North Dakota State had a 27-7 record, really good record. Actually, a better record than Michigan. Michigan had a record of 25-7. I'm still gonna go with Michigan State. State number 3. My markers letting down here, but it's okay. So then we have UCLA number 7 versus UConn. Number 2. This is going to be a very good matchup. Not UCLA. Sorry, this is I messed up here. So it's UCLA against UCF. Sorry. It would be a good matchup. So UCLA had a record of 23-11. UCF had a record of 21-11. So I'm going to go with UCLA here. Number 7. Then we have UConn number 2 versus Furman number 15. UConn had a record of 29-5. Furman had a record of 22-12. I don't see Furman doing a Cinderella run because they're going to be against a very tough team as UConn. Then we have, so we're going to, that is all the the East. We're going to be doing the South now. I'm going to change marker. This marker is not working very well. I'm going to change marker. If it doesn't work, I have more So it's Florida versus Prairie View. Prairie View just got in, but it's going to be the um, the the only way they're going to go. Florida is going to advance. So Florida had a record of 26-7. Prairie View had a record of 18-17. So we're just one game over 500. So I'm going to go with Florida here. Number 1. Then we have Clemson, number 8, versus Iowa, number 9. Clemson had a record of 24-10. Iowa had a record of 21-12. Here, I'm gonna go personally for Clemson. I really like Clemson here. Then we have Vanderbilt, number 5, versus McNeese, number 12. In this, Vanderbilt had a record of 26-8. McNeese had a record of 28-5. And I'm going with an upset here. McNeese. Then we have Nebraska, number 4, versus Troy, number 13. Nebraska had a record of 26-6. Troy had a record of 22-11. And I'm going to go with Nebraska here. Then we have North Carolina, number 6, versus VCU, number 11. North Carolina had a record of 24-8. VCU had a good record of 27-7. But I think that North Carolina, this one's going to be very hard here. This one's going to be very hard. I'm going to go with North Carolina. Number 6. Then we have Illinois, number 3, versus Penn, number 14. Illinois had a record of 24-8. Penn had a record of 18-11. I'm going to go with Illinois here. Number 3. Then we have St. Mary's, number 7, versus Texas A&M, number 10. I'm going with St. Mary's here. And number 7. Then we have Houston versus Idaho. So Houston number 2 versus Idaho number 15. Houston had a record of 28-6. Idaho had a record of 21-14. I'm going to go with Houston here. Houston always go far. I don't see them having an upset right at the beginning. That's for sure. There you go. Now we're going to go to the other side. We're going to be doing the West and Midwest. I'm going to check if you guys can see it. Yes, you can. So I'm going to go on this side here. So you have Arizona versus LIU. Arizona had a record of 32-2. LIU had a record of 24-10, but I don't see the upset here. It's going to be Arizona, and Arizona is going to be hard to beat here. Oh, man, here. All right, number 1. All right. Villanova versus Utah State. Villanova is 8, Utah State's 9. Villanova, a record of 24-8. Utah State had a record of 28-6. So I'm going to actually go to Utah State here. Doesn't really matter because they're going to get Arizona. All right. This board is not helping me. Utah State's number 9. Then we have Wisconsin versus High Point. Wisconsin 24-10. High Point is number 12 with 30-4. I kind of want to do the upset here. Kind of want to, but Wisconsin's very tough to beat usually, especially in this tournament. It's going to be very hard. High Point has a really good record, but I don't know if I could put High Point there. Do I do it? Do I do it? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. A lot of people are not going to be happy here. I'm going to put High Point here. 1 minute here. High Point is number 12. Then we have Arkansas versus number 4 Arkansas versus number 13 Hawaii. Arkansas is 26-8 this season. Hawaii had a record 24-8. I'm still gonna go with Arkansas here. This is really hard. I say Arkansas, number 4. See if I can do something about this here. Can I tape it maybe? Alright, let's continue. It doesn't really matter. Bayou, so we have BYU versus Texas. BYU had a record of 23-11. Texas had a record of 18-14. Usually Texas is good in this tournament, but I'm not going to take them anyway. I'm going to take BYU number 6. Then we have Gonzaga, number 3 versus Kennesaw State. They just got in. I think I'm wrong there. Gonzaga had a record 30-3. Kennesaw had a record 21-13. I'm gonna go with Gonzaga here. And number 3. I'm just gonna do with this here. Number 3. Come on. Then we have Miami versus Missouri. So number 7 versus number 10. Miami had a record 25-8. Missouri had a record 20-10. I'm going to go with Miami here. And number 7. Oh, come on. This board's giving me some trouble. Then we have Purdue, number 2 Purdue versus number 15 Queens. Purdue had a record 27-8. Queen had a record of 21-13. I'm gonna go with Purdue. Usually Purdue is very good in these tournaments. Then we have number 1 Michigan versus number 16 Howard. Michigan had a record of 31-3. Howard had a record of 23-10. So we're gonna go with Michigan. I don't see Michigan losing here. Then we have Georgia versus number 8 Georgia versus number 9 St. Louis. Georgia had a record of 22-10. St. Louis had a record of St. Louis had his record of 28-5. I'm gonna go with St. Louis. I'm gonna go with a different marker too. There we go. Let's do this here. St. Louis number 9. Then we have Texas Tech, number 5 Texas Tech versus number 12 Akron. Texas Tech had a record of 22-10. Akron had a record of 29-5. I'm gonna go with Akron. I'm gonna go with a little upset here. It's actually a big upset, but I'm gonna go with Akron, number 12. Then we have Alabama. So number 4 Alabama versus number 13 Hofstra. Alabama had a record of 23-9. Hofstra had a record of 24-10. I'm going to go with Alabama. Number 4. Then we have number 6 Tennessee versus number 11 Miami, Ohio. Usually Tennessee's very good in these tournaments. Tennessee had a record 22-11, not very great. Miami, Ohio had a record 31-1. So that means something, right? But I mean, people are not going to be happy with this here. I like that record, but I mean, doesn't mean anything. I'm going to go with Tennessee. I'm going to be smart here. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to go with the safe call. A lot of people not like this too because they like upsets. Tennessee, number 6. Then we have Virginia, number 3, Virginia versus number 14, Wright State. Virginia had a record 29-5. Wright State had a record of 23-11. So I'm going to go with Virginia. Number 3. Then we have Kentucky, number 7, Kentucky versus number 10, Santa Clara. Kentucky had a record 21-13. Santa Clara had a record 26-8. Do I go with the upset here? I'm going to go with the upset. Why not? Number 10, Santa. All right. And then we have Iowa State versus Tennessee State. So number 2 versus number 15. Iowa State had a record 27-7. Tennessee State had a record 23-9. I'm going to go with Iowa State. And number 2. All right, we're gonna start this side right now because it's actually very hard to write because my board's not straight. So we're gonna start here. So in the second round here, you got Arizona versus you. So number 1 Arizona versus Utah State. I'm gonna go with Arizona. Number 1. Then we have High Point because that was an upset. High Point versus number 4. So number 12 High Point versus number 4 Arkansas. And I'm going with another Cinderella run here. I'm gonna go with another Cinderella run. I don't know. I think might be where they stop though, but. Then we have number 6 Bayou versus number 3 Gonzaga. Where do I go here? I'm going to go number 3 Gonzaga. Then we have number 7 Miami versus number 2 Purdue. And I'm going to go with this one. I'm going with Purdue. I don't see number 2 Purdue. And this is number 3. Then we have number 1 Michigan versus number 9 St. Louis. And this is where St. Louis is over. Number 1 Michigan, continue. Then we have Akron, number 12 versus number 4 Alabama. And here I'm going with Akron. And a lot of people are not going to be happy, but I need some underdog. There's going to be a Cinderella run here. Then we have number 6 Tennessee versus number 3 Virginia. And I'm going to go with do I go with Virginia? Yeah, I'm going to go with Virginia. No, I'm going with Tennessee. Number 6, Tennessee. Then we have number 10, Santa Clara versus number 2, Iowa State. And I'm going... Yeah, I'm going to go Iowa State. So number 2, Iowa State. And so Sweet 16, we're going to do that and later on. We're going to go on this side. So we got number 1 Duke versus number 9 TCU. Duke is continuing here. I don't see them losing here. Then we have St. John, number 5 St. John versus number 4 Kansas. And I'm going with St. John here. Then we have South Florida, number 11 South Florida versus number 3 Michigan State. And where do I go here? I'm going South Florida. Then we have number 7 UCLA versus number 2 UConn, and I'm going to go with number 2 here. UConn, number 2. Then we have Florida, number 1 versus Clemson, number 8. And is it here that they lose? I'm going to go an upset. Number 1s cannot all go. It doesn't happen. So I'm going number 8, Clemson. I'm going to go put the number 8 here instead. I'm going to go with Clemson. Yeah. So after that, we have McNeese, number 12, versus Nebraska, number 4. And this one's going to be very hard, but I'm going to go with... did I go with McNeese here? McNeese had a really good season, but Nebraska too. I'm going to go with Nebraska. Yeah, I can go with Nebraska. Number 4. Then we have number 6 North Carolina versus number 3 Illinois. Where do I go here? North Carolina had a really good year. They had the same record. I'm gonna go. Do I go? I'm gonna say North Carolina has a little Cinderella run here. Carolina, number 6. Then we have St. Mary's, number 7 versus Houston, number 2. St. Mary had a really good season, but they're done here. Houston is really tough in these tournaments. I don't see them losing right now. So this is it. So Sweet 16, you have Duke number 1 versus St. John number 5. South Florida number 11 versus UConn number 2. So the South Florida is having a little Cinderella run. Clemson number 8 versus Nebraska number 4. North Carolina number 6 versus number 2 Houston. On the other side, you got number 1 Arizona versus number 12 High Point. So High Point having a Cinderella run here. Number 3 Gonzaga versus number 2 Purdue. That's going to be a hell of a game. Then we have Michigan number 1 versus number 12 Akron. So 2 number 12s here. And we'll see where they go here. Number 6 Tennessee versus number 2 Iowa State. So we're going to start on this side. Duke, number 1 Duke versus number 5 St. John. And I'm going to go with, where do I go? I'm going to go with Duke. Yeah, I'm going with Duke. And I think it's going to be a very close game. But I'm going with Duke's. South Florida having a Cinderella run here versus UConn. I think this is where it ends here. UConn. Then we have Clemson versus Nebraska. And this is going to be a tight game. But I think Nebraska wins here. Nebraska, yeah. number 4. Then we have North Carolina having a hell of a tournament here versus Houston, but it ends here because Houston is going to be very tough to beat, I think. Number 2. Then on the other side, we're going to go on the other side. Arizona, number 1 versus High Point, number 12. I know High Point had a really good year, 30 wins, 4 losses, but I think this is where it ends for them, sadly. I would love to put them in the Elite 8, but I can't do that because Arizona is a little bit too strong for them, I think. Then we have Gonzaga, number 3 Gonzaga versus number 2 Purdue. And I'm going to go with Gonzaga. You know what? I'm going with Gonzaga here. Then we have number 1 Michigan versus number 12 Akron. Akron had a good season, but I think it ends right here. I don't see them. I don't see it going this far. So Michigan. Then we have Tennessee, number 6 Tennessee versus number 2 Iowa State. Tennessee had a good, decent year. But I mean, this is yeah, I have to put number 2, and you know that's not gonna happen, right? But I mean, you got number 4, number 2 here, number 1, 2. Do I do that? I'm gonna put. You know what? I'm gonna go something different here. I need something different, right? I need to have something bold. So Iowa State loses here. We're going to continue. So Elite 8, you got Duke versus UConn. Then you got Nebraska versus Houston. Then we have Arizona versus Gonzaga. It's going to be a hell of a game for sure. Then Michigan versus Tennessee. And we're going to start here. Arizona versus Gonzaga. It's going to be a hell of a game here. A hell of a Elite 8 here. Where do I go here? I'm gonna go with Gonzaga. You know what? I'm gonna go with Gonzaga here. Number 3, Gonzaga. And then Michigan versus Tennessee. I'm gonna go with Michigan here. Number 1, Michigan. On the other side, you got number 1 Duke versus number 2 UConn, and this one's gonna be very hard. But I think Duke should win this, huh? I think Duke should win here. Nope, I'm going with UConn. You know what? I'm going to go with UConn. UConn always have a good tournament. And I think they're going to have another good one. Nebraska, number 4, Nebraska versus Houston, number 2. And this is where Nebraska loses. And number 2, Houston. I think Houston is going to be hard to beat. Then we have our final 4. You got number 2, UConn versus number 2, Houston. On the other side, number 3, Gonzaga versus number 1, Michigan. We're going to start here. UConn versus Houston. UConn, this is where you're done. And I think it's going to be very close games here. So number 2 here. On the other side, Gonzaga versus Michigan. Michigan had a hell of a season. Gonzaga also had a hell of a season. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with, where do I go here? I'm going to go with Michigan. Yeah. Number 1. And so the final national championship, we got Houston versus Michigan. I'm going to go with Houston. Houston wins the whole thing again. So let me know in the comments what you guys pick. Like and subscribe. Thank you for our support. And I'll see you soon in more videos. See you guys.